Hi, my name is JP Saxe, and I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
This tour been? It started in September, and you're almost halfway through it.
I'm having the time of my life. I'm getting to play songs for friendly strangers and travel the country. So it's like three of my favorite things in one.
Now, you now live in LA, right?
Yes.
So is this considered a hometown show now, or do you still have another place that feels like hometown?
This is a hometown asterisk show. Hometown with a little asterisk. Like, and the asterisk would say, don't read if you're from Toronto.
Yeah. So let's talk about this tour. You jumped on tour with Noah Khan, and you're promoting your new single that just dropped recently with Julia Roberts. Oh shit, Julia Michaels.
Starting her music career, Julia Roberts, she decided she had done too much in acting, and everyone was like, Julia, we get it.
It was time
And then
to
she decided to move into music.
That's what it is.
And I was like, I'll give this new kid a shot. I also have a song with Julia Michaels.
Really, that's cool.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
it's arguably cooler
Yeah.
because,
More experience.
well, she's just like my favorite artist and songwriter.
Nice.
And now we have a song together.
Nice. Now, prior to this song, did you guys kind of collaborate with other projects before?
Never. We actually met the day we wrote the song.
Oh shit. Okay, so how does this happen? Because it's like, it's. I feel like it's always awkward. Like, this is so and so, this is so and so. You guys are gonna write together, and then you create a song.
She posted my song 25 in Barcelona on her Instagram.
Okay.
I responded to her Instagram story and said, thank you. And then she said, we should write. And I said, yeah, we should write. And then like 2 months later, we had the session and we wrote that song that day.
Damn.
Yeah.
So what was that creative process like with her? Like, do you feel like there was a lot of similarities between the two of you? Do you feel like you learned a lot from her?
Yes, I think we both similarly were committed to telling a sincere story, and ultimately, a songwriting session when it's good is just a good conversation that has, a loot bag of a song to walk away with from. And we had a really good conversation that turned into a loot bag with a lot of streams now.
Now, is this the first time that you've collaborated with someone as far as like a songwriter goes? And if it was, like, what did you kind of take out of this session?
It was not my first time writing with someone else. I've written with a lot of other people. Been doing it for a bunch of years.
Okay.
And I mean, it's all different, but it's the same in that you're connecting as people and you're connecting as creatives, and you're looking for what the intersection is of those things. Like the song I put up before this was a collaboration with Guap Dad 4000, which was super fun. And then I have a song with Charlotte Lawrence that I really love. And before that, I was a songwriter and wrote for other people before I started my artist project.
So as you kind of were a songwriter for other people, like when you decided to finally, do your own music, did the way that you write the music kind of change because now it comes more personal? It's something that you're going to be touring, you're going to be singing for a while?
I think being a songwriter to me, was about using other people as the characters that I was writing for. And when it became about my own music, the character I was writing was just me. And what my life was and what my stories were and how I was going to be sincere in these songs to what it feels like to be me. So the skill is the same. It's just the subject matter I'm using is my own experience rather than hearing someone else's stories.
Right. Now, as you mentioned earlier, you also collaborated with Charlotte Lawrence. Like, how different is did she get to write with you, or is that something that you kind of had the track and you were like, I have a female vocal?
Yeah, I had put the song out already.
Okay.
And her and I are friends, and she liked the song a lot, and I thought it would be fun to do a duet version, so I texted her and asked her if she wanted to do it, and she said yes, and came to the studio the next day.
Nice. So when she came in, did you guys kind of change the song much from the original version?
We did a little bit, like I messed with the production with Ryan Marone, who produced the song a little bit, to do like an alt version. But for the most part, it stayed kind of to the integrity of the original.
Yeah. Now back to your single with Julia Michaels. FINNEAS produced this track. What was it like being in the studio with FINNEAS? Like, what is his like style as far as a producer goes?
Well, he heard the song, the original demo, which was just the piano and our voices, which Benjamin Rice did the day we met. He was engineering the session and he mixed our voices. And there was something about just the piano vocal that felt really powerful to everyone.
Yeah.
And I think FINNEAS had a reaction to that and liked it enough that he wanted to accentuate what it was about it that he already liked. And I loved that was the approach he took.
Right. Now, when you look at producers or you're gonna get into the studio with producers, what is something that you kind of look for before you say yes to them?
If it's about songs, and not about like a cool track, that it's about just like serving the emotion of a song.
Right. And like as you release this song, I'm sure there's gonna be some kind of body of work you're in the process of working with. You know, who are you today as an artist compared to when you first kicked off your own personal music?
Yeah, I mean, who I am as an artist is just in line with who as a person, and as I develop as a human being, I also develop as a writer and a creative, because I'm getting better at both. I'm getting better at living my life, and I'm getting better at writing songs about said version of my life.
Right.
So I've got more to say, and I've got a little bit more agency with which to say it in these songs.
Do you see like something? Do you see like a form of evolution from when you first started writing to now? And you know, what is that thing that you see evolve the most?
I think just prioritizing telling the truth, like not making it a song about what happened, just making it what happened. Like trying to write as if it's my journal, or not trying, just not. The songs won't get heard unless
Right.
it feels like it's my journal.
And one of those things that I find cool with artists is like having them kind of discover themselves as musicians, like what kind of sound they're gonna do, what kind of artist they are. What was your artist development like when you decided to, you know, start pursuing the music?
Well, I think from the first song I put out, which is a song called Changed, I was asking myself two questions with these songs. I was like, do I love these songs? If I remove my ego from it and I just listen to it, do I like it separate from the fact that I made it? And because of the way I think, I'm actually more likely to not like it because I made it. And does that song feel like the emotion that it is about? Because if the song can make me feel the same thing that the experience that it's about made me feel, then I can compare those two things and say, yes, this is an honest representation of what being myself feels like. And I think if I can make these songs really deeply close to me, when you hear them as a listener, they can feel close to you too, and then we'll feel close to each other, and then come to my shows, and then I can have a music career, and then everyone can just feel a bit more connected to themselves and each other.
Now, with those songs that are closer to you, that you open up a little more, you give us a little more about your life. Like, do you feel that the more you like perform them live, do you feel like that connection grows? That connection like stays the same? Like, what happens to those songs and feelings?
They definitely shift, because the time it takes to release a song is often longer than the feeling the song is about will last. But I mean, there are older breakup songs, like Changed, for example, was 2 relationships ago. And the relationship after Changed, I'm also no longer in. So I have breakup songs that I'm relating to from different breakups, which is kind of fun. And then similarly, I have love songs from last relationships that I've understand now differently in a new relationship.
And how did you learn to be vulnerable to your audience? I feel like that's another thing that's like difficult for artists, because it's like, I guess depending on the situation, what you're really opening about, but like, how did you learn to get vulnerable?
I mean, I think different artists have different missions. Some artists, their goal is to give you the space to have fun. There's something so valuable about that. Some artists, it's to give you the space to like feel sexy. Some of them, it's feeling confident. It's all kinds of different emotions which different artists access. And for me, what's important to me in these songs is accessing feeling a little bit closer to yourself intimately. Right. So if I don't do that in the songs, then I'm not really succeeding.
Yeah. Now, as you're, you know, prepping for new music, like, do you feel like there's what kind of body of work are you kind of concentrating on working on? Or do you want to concentrate on the singles game? I feel like a lot of artists prefer doing that right now than, you know, packaging up an EP or an album.
It'll be all of the above. There'll be a few more singles, then there'll be an EP, then there'll be more singles, then there'll be another EP, then there'll be an album. Yeah. But at the end of the day, like, I want to portion control my audience a little bit. Like I want to make sure that I'm giving the beginnings of the people who are listening to my music now, you know, time to like really sink their teeth into it.
Right. Is there a song in particular that you felt was the most difficult to create?
Difficult to create. Yeah. I don't know. To me, writing isn't a difficult process, because it's difficult it's difficult to the idea to me of putting out something that I don't really love. So even if it takes a long time to get it right, like I enjoy that process because I have faith and trust myself to get it to a place where I can listen to it and say like, nah, that's what it's supposed to feel like.
Is there a specific song that took you a long time to kind of create that, you know, you believed in it so much?
I mean, If the World Was Ending, we wrote on July 20th and it came out September something.
Yeah.
So that was quick. The few things I had written the verses and the chorus 8 months before I wrote the "I Want You to Unravel Me, Come Closer" tag at the end, and I tried all kinds of different parts to go at the end. It just didn't feel like the feeling, and it was like, you know, what is that? "I want you to unravel me, come closer" is like 7-8 words.
Yeah.
But those 7-8 words were like the summary of that idea that took me forever to get to because I wanted it to feel right.
Right. You know, you fought for it, obviously. So, like, did you know the moment you wrote those 7-8 words? Did you know, like, okay, this is something that, you know, I want to release, or did you kind of start falling for the song the more you kind of created it?
I knew that was going to be a song that I wanted to put out and that I wanted people to meet me through.
Yeah.
And the beginnings of, you know, my audience, a lot of them did find me through that song. And then 25 in Barcelona, which came next, I think expanded, you know, how people, you know, were meeting me through the music. And I think once again with Same Room and then Women Who Look Like You and now If the World Was Ending, it's just kind of growing a little bit at a time.
Yeah. Do you feel like, as far as like evolution, as far as like your kind of audience, I'm sure that when you first started, you had a specific, you know, a specific audience, but I feel like now with like these tours that you're constantly going on, like I feel like your audience kind of grows. Do you see that at all as an artist, as a live performer?
For sure. I mean, I think I'm really enjoying the fact that my audience seems to look like people who feel in similar ways to the way I feel. Yeah. I feel like in a lot of ways I'm at the intersection of an overthinker and an overfeeler. Yeah. I have a very overwhelming emotional experience of the world, and at the same time I'm intellectualizing all of it and overthinking all of those feelings, and I'm somewhere in the middle. Yeah. And I found that, like, regardless of if you're your gender, your age, like all of that, that seems to be the commonality with someone who likes my music. And I love that because my hope is that that's a lot of people, a lot of different kinds of people all over the world that I would love to be able to reach with this music. Right.
So this tour is about to wrap tomorrow. So, you know, what else are the plans for you? Are you done with tours for the remainder of the year and like focusing on music, or are you ready to, you know, jump back on the road?
I'm doing a few shows with Jeremy Zucker at the end of this month. And then I'm going to do some headline dates at the top of next year, which have yet to be announced, but will be soon. And then a lot of touring next year and a lot of new music.
Dude, that's awesome.
I'm excited.
Congratulations, and congrats with the new signing, because this is like with I think June is when this happened, right?
June.
So congratulations with that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for hanging out with me. You guys be sure to check out JP Saxe. New single's out now. It's called
If the World Was Ending, featuring Julia Michaels.
Hey, thanks for watching Unfurl Live.